Okay, welcome. Another episode, Dr. James Beckett Sports Card Insights here with Joe Davis. Got baseball cards. We're going to talk about the new normal in the local card shop and how Joe is making his store, his shop, friendly to customers as well as employees, because we're living in times that require some extra precautions. So first, thanks to sponsors, Beckett Media, Beckett Grading, Beckett Authentication, ComC.com, Burbank Sports Cards, Mike Stadium Sports Cards, Heritage Auctions, Huggins Scott Auctions, Topps, Panini, and Upper Deck. Every sponsor has been greatly impacted by the COVID-19 and the shelter in place, which is still for most of the country. So, Joe, welcome to the show. And how are you, as a very responsible and, as the listeners found out, very ethical card shop owner, veteran? What are you doing to respond to this situation?
It's great to be back, Jim. For us, it started off and we knew it was going to be a challenge. And, one of my favorite things to do is hang out with my customers and talk to them and see them and have a great time with them. So it was a difficult decision, but we felt like it was a prudent decision. We actually closed. We've been closed for, I think this is our 7th week now. And we are going back based upon what's going on in our state in Georgia. We're located out in Loganville, a little east of Atlanta. We are going back to curbside pickup starting today. But we're trying to be very careful with that. We're recommending to customers to either place an order on our website or give us a call, and we will bring their product out contact free and give them their order, and they can give us credit card over the phone or send us PayPal or whatever. We don't really have a timetable yet for reopening. I talked to another local store. He's in the same boat. He just said he doesn't feel comfortable yet. We have discussed internally some things we might do, maybe shrink our retail area a little bit. And part of my vision is maybe create I don't know if you have quick trips out there, Dallas, but basically a quick trip for cards where customers can come in, get their supplies and boxes quickly. But for now, we're going to have to kind of change the environment where it's not, hey, I'm going to come in and hang out and look through your 50-cent boxes for 3 hours. So, there's a balance in protecting everyone else and still providing good service. So that's a challenge.
So most of your drive up and pickup, it can't be browsing, I guess. It's got to be something that they know it's largely unopened, or supplies, or what's right. the mix right. of your business?
Yeah, I mean, we do put a lot of, I was talking to the guy who handles our website here. I said, we've got to really ramp up our inventory on the site. We've started adding a lot of graded singles on our site. Of course, on eBay, we have about 650,000 items, so they can shop with us there. For singles, we'll pull the order and they can pick that up. But as far as like phone-in orders, it's mainly going to be boxes and supplies. And which is the main thing. I mean, that's the biggest percentage of our retail sales is unopened boxes. And with the lack of new product, we have blown through a lot of old inventory over the last few weeks. So as I've told one of my employees the other day, I said, for me, it's more critical that grading companies and card companies get back to normal than we do in our own state, because we need cards coming back from grading and we need product coming from companies.
What part of the fun of the hobby, of the industry, is the sense of community, and the LCS is right at the center of that. And so until there's an aspect of congregating or convening or coming together and browsing in the shop, I mean, how are it doesn't feel, it feels antiseptic, I guess, or sterile, which that sterile would be good. You're not going to get infected, but you're also not going to have the full experience, the full enjoyment. So
yeah, that's been tough. Because our customers, I've had some say, we can't wait to get back and look through those boxes, but we're like, we got to keep it safe. Like, I'm sorry, we can't provide that. And I talked to another friend, and he said he's opening, but he literally is putting tarps over all of his singles boxes to say, sorry, these are off limits for now.
Even with gloves.
Even with gloves, yeah.
Wow.
Just
and so browsing is not welcome. And so, and what about the restaurants in Texas are opening with 25% maximum occupancy? So 1 in every 4 tables. Do you have is anything like that going on in Georgia, or do you have? Would you allow 10 people in at one time, or anything like that going forward?
10 would be a stretch, because I don't think we could maintain safe distancing. Even though we have a 10,000 foot building, most of it's dedicated to our online. We have discussed the possibility, and I've talked to some other owners about maybe going to an appointment basis, so that people can come in, not feel like they have to be around anyone else, but they can shop freely for 20 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever, and almost go into like a doctor schedule and say, your window is from 10 to 10:15 and yours is 10:15 to 10:30. So all options are on the table, and we're just trying to weigh we're trying to monitor what's going on in our state, how things are working for other businesses that are trying to maintain a retail presence with social distancing, and make the best decision for our employees and our customers. And we're just trying not to rush that. So that's why we're just going to curbside for now.
Wow. But the next phase, though, when people are allowed in the store, I mean, I just remember back in the day, and it's been, 40 years since I've been a store owner, but I remember people, moms dropping off their son and coming back after lunch or whatever. Those days, I don't think that's going to happen. You're talking about not just an appointment, like a doctor's appointment for when to come, but when you have to leave. You can come, and if somebody says, "Hey, I want to come from 10 to 12," what are you going to say? No deal?
For now, we're just praying, hoping customers will be understanding that our goal is to offer good service to as many customers as possible in a limited amount of time each day. So right now we're doing curbside for 4 hours a day to try to compress that too. Because we did it Saturday, and I told my wife I felt like a Sonic car hop. I was running back and forth between cars, and I get up there and somebody's like, "No, I don't really want that one. Can you go see if you got this one?" And I had one customer, I literally ran back and forth 3 times to the store and back to his car with different products. But, made us, our customers know that we'll bend over backwards to try to take care of. And this is just a new way we're learning how to do that.
Especially, and, you have a great reputation, Joe, but I just was thinking, is it in your best interest? Because, in the world of social media, people pick fights or criticize things. Would you get more criticism a month from now if you are extra strict or extra loose? If you're extra strict, if these are the rules and they're for the protection of all, does that win you points? Or is it, if you just say, "Hey, come on, anybody want to stay as long as you want," that maybe makes people think you don't care, or that you care about only making money, or and you're not caring about the safety of your employees and all that. So being extra strict might be positive.
Yeah. And honestly, as many years as I've been in it, I know you understand this. We don't make decisions based upon what somebody's going to say about us on social media. But, I have to make prayerful decisions that I believe are in the best interest of employees and customers. And if that means I stay closed for another 6 weeks to retail, if it means that we open tomorrow, I've got to make what I believe is that I have a piece about doing. And some people are going to complain one way or the other. If we let too many in, they're going to complain. We don't open soon enough, they're going to complain. So I have to just have a piece about it that is what I believe is the right thing to do in the moment.
Well, I agree with what you're saying, but the only thing I would add to that is that sometimes in business, I learned based on the quality and direction of the predominant criticism that I received. If people are criticizing you for caring too much about your employees and putting in too many safeguards for your customers, I'd love to receive that criticism.
Exactly.
So it's just tricky. I don't think people are going to feel safe going into something that we were talking about 25%, before pre-COVID, people would walk up to a restaurant. If it's crowded, they say, "Wow, I want to get a table. I want to get in there," and then stand in line. Now, if you go to a restaurant, if it's crowded, let's go to this other restaurant that's not crowded.
Right.
So it's upside down. It's upside down. Yeah. And so I'm a numbers guy, but I'm not really a big financial spreadsheet guy. Are you making projections for third quarter, fourth quarter? What encouragement could you give to other card shop owners or customers that any kind of normalcy, is it going to take a vaccine or a cure, or is it going to play out? Are you expecting the Christmas to be more normal?
Well, certainly we're all praying for both a vaccine and a cure, but as far as the industry goes, I told my wife this last week. I said, I feel as busy as we have been since this started. I feel like the feel for me is that we're in the most recession-proof industry out there for now. Our online sales, are up over 100% in the last, 45 days. Right as I speak right now, a Monday morning on the 4th, we are about 400 orders behind in shipping, which is a wonderful thing. We'll get it done, but it's just a constant flow. We have, at any given time, we have several hundred orders to get pulled, and we have several hundred emails to answer and dozens of phone calls to get back to. And I finally just had to put an autoresponder on eBay, like, we're slammed. We're doing the best we can. We'll get back to you as quickly as we can. But I was so concerned when this started that we were going to see a huge drop off. And we've seen just the opposite, because when a huge percentage of the country is sitting at home and they have their laptop in front of them and they still and they can't watch sports and they can't play fantasy sports, this is an outlet for them. And so I think that's part of the reason we're seeing such an uptick in sales on veterans, the guys that they remember, that, the guy that they long for the joy of watching Jordan in the past, or, Jeter, whatever. So I think that's another driving force we're seeing right now. So yeah, my projections, I mean, the hobby to me, is still incredibly strong. There's still incredible demand. There's still pre-sales on upcoming products is incredibly strong. So, I mean, overall, I have not seen a dip at all.
Well, we're almost out of time because we're trying to stay with a 15-minute episode. But did you, two last things. One, did you notice, I perceived that in a few days after the last basketball game, which I actually attended, that next week was slow. Yes. And then about a week later, all of a sudden people started, wait a minute, I can still buy cards. I can still sell cards. And so there was like a week of what's going to happen here, a little bit of pessimism, and then the floodgates just went open. Anyway, last question, again, to be encouraging to other local card shops and customers, is that to me, it's never too late to do the right thing. And the right thing for a card shop is if you're not having a pretty strong digital initiative and thrust in your business, you're really missing out. That's really what's allowed you to, it takes some organization and it takes some foresight. But what's your encouragement to another card shop or somebody, a customer? You certainly don't think it's too late. If somebody has a card shop and they're not selling on eBay or ComC or sending in stuff to PSA or BGS or SGC, right, it's never too late to start doing the right thing. Would you agree?
No, yeah, I say right, for a local card shop owner, every day is a new opportunity. Whether you have a customer coming in that day or not, whether you have every day is an opportunity to grow your presence. Every day is an opportunity to organize your shop. I mean, whatever. There's always, there's never a day they should wake up and go, well, customers can't come in the store today. I guess there's not much to do. I mean, we have been working behind the scenes. We're about to launch a whole new version of our website. We've been working on, we just launched our own podcast for sports cards. There's so many things. There's so many opportunities out there. I mean, I've spent much of yesterday, last night, I pre-graded several hundred cards to send off to grading companies because there's so much demand for Jordans and a lot of other veterans back in the 90s. So there is always an opportunity. There's always something to do. I actually hired an old friend to come back and start helping. So instead of laying people off, I've actually added people since this started. So and without being open for the last 7 weeks now.
I wanted to stop on an encouraging note, but last thing, how can people find your new podcast?
Just search for The Collector and the Dealer. We're on Spotify, Google. I don't know where else we just launched. First, we air new episodes every Thursday morning, working with local radio host Chuck Oliver here in the Atlanta market, well known for his expertise in college football. And so we're doing about a 30-minute show every Thursday, The Collector and the Dealer.
Count me in. I'll be a subscriber. Always enjoy talking to Joe Davis, Got Baseball Cards. Thanks, listeners. Be back tomorrow with another episode, and continue to enjoy.